white claw. Pain in my nose. Mushrooms in my teeth. I don't know how the hell I'm getting home. I done lost my keys. Anybody see my phone? Can't even find my ride. I'm stuck here on my own. White girl. Hey, I'm white girl wasted. Baby. White girl wasted. Hey, I'm white girl wasted. Down for what? Hey, line me up. Another round of shots. I ain't ready to call it quits, no. Music's singing hard, and I love this bar. The lucky bucks ain't turning down for shit, no. I'm white girl wasted. Chug if a white girl could chug claw. How much claw could a white girl chug if a white girl could chug claw? Hey, how much claw could a white girl chug if a white girl could chug claw? How much claw could a white girl chug if a white girl could chug? Thank you. How's it going, man?
Myself. Now I'm hearing myself. That can be a motif tonight. It's the first few syllables don't go through, but after that, everything is good. So, let's see. It is what? I was going to look at the time, and it's our sound engineer's posterior. So, yes. It's never been that time before on my clock. So it is 10:10, and you are listening to Community Radio for East Central Illinois, WEFT 90.1 FM Champaign. And as I said in the intro, which was a little bit later than usual, we have the, do you want to say it?
The Lucky Funks.
I want to be very careful because once we had a band that started off talking about funk a lot, and there were people who thought they said something else. In fact, I'm not promising what they said, but we're going with they were very into funk, and I would be liable if I said it wrong. You guys are guests, so basically we would just tell you to behave. So,
F-U-N-K.
Yes,
We'll
with
keep
an
it
N.
appropriate,
Funk
as
with
much
an
as
N.
possible.
Funky, like Funky Winkerbean. So, would you mind introducing yourselves if you want to go on record as who is in the band?
I'm Kobe Workman.
I'm
Hey.
Jake McNamara. Good to see you guys again.
Second one, you said that so fast, it sounded like
Wilson. Sorry, I'm Ben Wilson.
Ben Wilson. It just sounded like it was all one syllable. So,
It is most of the time. People say it.
and then Jake, did you want to again?
I'm Jake McNamara.
And as astute listeners, maybe I realize if they're just listening, they can't go by faces. But Jake was on what, less than 2 months ago, right?
Yeah, around there, yeah.
So now you are back with your full. Is this your full
With
band?
the group. Yep.
I see. It's a trio.
Yep.
For some reason, maybe that you went out and came back in, and I was adding you twice. I was thinking you were a quartet, but it's just because I think you came in twice.
Maybe in the
so.
near future, but
Or, I may also be thinking your manager is welcome presence in the band, and so I sort of feel like it's a 4-piece, but it's actually just a 3-piece. So, anyhow, what do you want to say about that first song, or do you just want to go on to the second song?
we have a lot to say about that.
Oh,
first
well,
song.
please do, because you mentioned something about it.
We wrote this song at an after party,
Mhm.
our first get together with me and Kobe actually with
Mhm.
this group.
When
And
was that?
Oh man, when was that?
Oh, this
Yeah.
year?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking 1998. Oh yeah, back
I was
then
born
when
in 1998.
I realized it. Yeah,
And we
you can't sing too credibly about your experience at Woodstock, I guess. So go on. Sorry.
It's a different life, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we met this lady at this after party we went to.
Why, she's a lady now. I like that.
She was very fun. We played King's Corner with her. We played Yahtzee with her. She was a good time. So we ended up writing a song about her because she was very messed up.
Yahtzee is exotic to me because I got several Yahtzee sets growing up, and they were immediately tagged for yard sales. I have no idea why, but I never actually got to play it. So it is strictly a computer game for me. But so she was a charming
She
lady.
attempted to play everything with us, you
is she
know?
the same one that could chug wine? Did I understand that right?
Chug wine.
Were you-
Yeah, White Claw. She was White Claw wasted that night.
I just wanted to make
It's a
sure I
different
was.
kind of.
I just wanted to make sure I was interpreting the song correctly because I would hate to get the wrong message from it. It sounds like it's a very important message that would help heal the world. So,
Yeah, that's what it is.
or at least they'd have a good time while they're not getting healed. Maybe healing takes different forms for different people. So, yes,
Interpret it how you will.
yeah.
Use it as a party anthem.
Different luck for different funk or something like that. So what do you have coming up? And is there a collection where all of these songs can be found, or is this it for now?
Just right here.
Okay.
What you're listening to right now is what you're going to hear for at least a couple months
This-
until we get it recorded.
This radio broadcast and this eventual YouTube upload are the only ways then to enjoy this collection of music for the time being.
I appreciate everybody tuning in.
And at some point during the show, if you have other upcoming performances where people might also then be able to hear it, that would be good to promote. But right now, go ahead with your next song. Thank you.
Let's see if you guys can count this next one.
Wow.
go so fast. Life, it seems, is kicking my ass. If I could go back, I wouldn't change a thing. Friends, they seem to come and go. Which ones will stay? Well, who the hell knows what they teach along the way. It'll grow back. Just give it time. Give it fresh water and a little bit of sunlight. It'll grow back. Just wait and see. Plant that seed and let it be. Forgiveness is like getting stabbed in the back, ripping it out and saying, here man, have it back. Tell me, how the hell am I supposed to do that? It'll grow back. Just give it time. Give it fresh water and a little bit of sunlight. It'll grow back. Just wait and see. Plant that seed and let it be. It'll grow back. Just give it time. Give it fresh water and a little bit of sunlight. It'll grow back. Just wait and see. Plant that seed and let it breathe. Thank you. Of course, we always do, man. It's a pleasure to have.
Well, it's one thing to want me in the wing quiet. It's another thing to want me out here talking. So I just wanted to make sure in what capacity you wanted me at this moment.
You want to sing one with us later? You're more than welcome to.
I don't even sing in the shower. I have a story about that. But if I like somebody, I lip sync "Happy Birthday."
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I can tell who's on key and who's not well enough to tell that I'm not. So if that ever changes, maybe I'll start singing. But you guys have the music taken care of tonight. So
Thank you. Me and Kobe wrote that one. What? Maybe a year ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Been a minute, year and a half.
It was a tough one to learn because this guy didn't know like time signatures or nothing then, so he just wrote a part, and I was like, "What time signature is that?"
Well, we actually just kind
I
of
don't
played
know.
2 songs and put them together. The first one, like we literally call it 6-8-6-10 because I wrote the riff, and I've tried playing it with drummers before I met him. Like we could never figure it out. I played with him, and he sat with it for like a day or a couple.
I had
hours or
help,
whatever.
but yes.
And he's like, so this time signature is 6 and then 8 and then 6 and then 10.
I don't even know if that's right, but
You-
that's how I count it.
You reminded me, I will tease people with a sneak preview. One of my favorite local unreleased songs, probably from about almost 15 years ago now, was called, it was either called 1517 or 1617. It's a fraction. And the band didn't even record it. for their album that also never came out. I'm told that this band that has an album that hasn't come out for almost 15 years now may be doing something next month, and that's probably all I'm at liberty to say right now, but I think there's going to be a pretty big show announcement soon. So if anybody remembers this song I'm talking about, actually 1516 is what it's called. I don't know where the 17 came. I guess that's next, but it was called 15/16, and I think you can find it on YouTube because that's the only recording that I'm aware of that exists. But what I was thinking is you can know all these, like I know about all these different time signatures. That doesn't mean I can play any of them, whereas you may not know the science or the math behind it, but if you can play all of them, that matters a lot more. So
I can't count while I play, so
I feel like the ability is sometimes more important than the being able to drone on about it like I do.
You just gotta feel it someday.
Yes. I imagine a lot of the great musicians who were groundbreaking in this country might not have been able to tell you exactly an explanation of what they were doing, but they made it up. So,
and then
Make a lot of things up. That's
Yeah.
for sure, so.
and then the second half, it's kind of like I said, it's kind of two songs put together. The second half, Grow Back.
Mhm.
When I was 19, I'd never traveled before. When I was 19 or 20, I just packed my car and just drove west for like 2 months. And I ended up finding some friends in Montana, and we were tubing down a river, and this guy kept saying, it'll grow back, like talking about like past relationships or past friendships, like anything like you're unhappy, you just like would shrug it off. He's like, it'll grow back, I'll be happy again. It'll grow back. I was like, can I write a song about that? He's like, please do, send it to me. Never got the guy's name, so I can't send it to him. But
See, you really got me thinking about a lot of things all at once. There was an old yogurt commercial where somebody was an amputee, and she said she ate enough yogurt that her body parts grew back, and
It'll grow back.
that's. I was trying to figure out what exactly grew back, and it sounds like everything.
it's kind of like a this too shall pass kind of a thing.
Well, I was thinking also, you sound like you may have done more by age 19 than I've done yet. So that's remarkable that you. Yes,
Thanks, I guess.
Travel is one of those things. People put it off and put it off, and then you have something like a pandemic, and all of a sudden you can't do it.
Mhm.
So I feel like any opportunity people have to travel that's a good opportunity, that's not going somewhere with strangers, not knowing where they're going.
Sketchy.
But if you have the opportunity to take a trip with reasonable security, I think it's some of the best education you can get. So
Yeah, it's definitely. I came back a different person for sure.
I also feel like you can appreciate where you live more once you compare it to other places.
I can agree. So like I always like hated. I still don't really like Illinois, but I always hated Illinois. And then I traveled. When I came back, I like realized how green Illinois, and Illinois is actually beautiful
Mhm.
for the most part. But I appreciated Illinois a lot more
Well-
when I came back. I still want to leave though.
I think I have a European perspective when it comes to Illinois, in that in Europe it's very common to love your city but not so much your state. And I feel like I picked Champaign, but like the rest of Illinois is might as well be Mars to me.
Right on. Cities still intimidate me. Like I said, I've traveled all throughout the states of the West and like the Southeast and stuff. And I just drove through the city. I never hang out in cities. I just go to the mountains.
I do want to clarify, I mean Champaign County. I'm not like giving the finger to Urbana or to Savoy. What I'm saying is East Central Illinois, Champaign County, I've made home, but I feel like there are parts of Illinois that I just don't relate to at all. So,
Fair enough. Yeah, even Champaign intimidates me. All the parking meters and all that.
well, I don't have a car here, so
Sit here for a second.
it would intimidate me too if I had to use them.
Fair enough.
Now I'm thinking about what a gendered term meter maid is, and I have never heard of a. I'm wondering if I guess they don't maybe use that term as much anymore.
There's meter men too.
Yeah, there should be. There'd have to be. I mean, there's the band, the Meters. They were. Anyhow, this
Meters
is.
rock. Don't get me started.
Yes,
on Meters.
there used to be a taco place in town that would play the Meters, and I really enjoyed it.
They're
So,
incredible.
Perfect. Tacos and meters.
do you have any Meters covers?
I do. I don't know about that.
Which one? What do you like to play?
Any of them? Just Kiss My Baby. Sissy Strut's a good one. That's a classic though.
I don't remember how PlayStation 2 was.
That was close enough. You demonstrated that you're legit. So.
We'll keep it funky for you guys though.
Well, I
That's
mean, it's in
cool.
your name, so
That's right.
I did have a clue there. All right, so what do you have for us next for real?
Next one is a kind of another combo tune me and Kobe put together, and then
Mm-hmm.
we were trying to figure it out and we couldn't do it, and then he came into the picture and was like
Yep.
the
It is
Blue.
Cody with a D, right?
Kobe.
Oh, you see, I just heard Kobe, and I'd been thinking Cody the whole show, so I'm glad we settled that.
K-O-B-E-Y. The Y is for why is there a Y there?
Oh, I like that. And also to distinguish you from the athlete.
Yeah, that's right.
You seem to be doing better than he is, so
I mean,
stay healthy.
fair enough. Won't be on any helicopters soon.
Or I guess the beef, actually, come to think of it.
I've gotten that, yeah.
If we're talking about people who've passed away, I definitely mentioned that James Taylor passed away last time I was here, and he's not.
I mean,
Not.
I
He's still with us, so if you're listening, I apologize.
I did I correct you at the time?
I don't think so.
Because I would know. I wouldn't just forget that. I don't think.
Yeah, it was. My parents reminded me when I got home. I was like, "Oh, yeah, that was on the on the internet." and on the
I
radio,
believe
so-
my parents argue about James Taylor, and I feel like I would hear about it if anything happened.
I
So.
I thought he.
I remember we talked about him on
Yep.
Sesame Street,
Yeah. But, yep.
and I guess I just thought I misheard you when you spoke of him in the past tense.
Yeah, but yeah.
Well, how about a shout out to him?
Shout out.
Stay alive. Don't go anywhere.
Love you, man.
Keep the funk alive, James.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep it funky, guys.
Keep it alive. Keep it funky. It's kind of funny because the song is like called "Keep the Funk Alive." Stay alive.
Let's do it, brother.
Sometimes life gets me down, and I feel like I ain't got no one around. I got a little trick up my sleeve. I like to keep it funky. Keep the funk alive every single day for the rest of your life. Every fucking minute till the day that you die. Once upon a time it was a way to survive. Gotta keep the funk alive every single day for the rest of your life. Every fucking minute till the day that you die. Once upon a time it was a way to survive. Well, I met this little girl. She about 21. Invited me to her house to have a little fun. She said, "How you like it, baby? Do you like it sweet or rough?" She said, "I ain't gonna lie, baby. I like to keep it funky. Keep it funky alive every single day for the rest of your life. Every funky minute till the day that you die. Once upon a time it was a way to survive. You gotta keep the funk alive every single day for the rest of your life. Every funky minute till the day that you die. Once upon a time it was a way to survive. Hey! Keep it funky, keep the funk alive. Every single day till the rest of your life. Every funky minute till the day that you die. Once upon a time it was the way to survive. Gotta keep the funk alive. Every single day till the rest of your life. Every funky minute till the day that you die. Once upon a time it was the way to survive.
Thanks, James. That was a long jam.
Thank you guys. That was a long jam.
But that's what we do.
Oh yeah. I thought you were going off script. It's okay. I was letting you do your thing.
You know, I think both times you brought up James Taylor, I was expecting you to bring up James Brown because of the funk connection and all.
Oh,
so
yeah, he's in there. He's on our Mount Rushmore somewhere. You know.
may I throw something at you from the weekend last night? Not the weekend, the singer, but so
How was your weekend?
we were. I guess it was okay. It was necessary. I needed a weekend. But at trivia last night, they wanted to know the dance that James Brown popularized named after food. And the thing, well, I'll give you a chance to answer.
Okay, I'm thinking. Continue with what you were saying, though. I don't know.
So here's the confusing thing. There were two. Because they said 1959, and in the late 60s, just about all of his records were about some dance he made up called the popcorn. But under an alias in 1959, he started what by 1962 became the mashed potato craze. That's what they were talking about.
I should have known that.
But he did that under an assumed name. So, and they got a little huffy about it, and about what year, and it's because it was, and they didn't write the question. It was from one of those question mills, but I just thought it was interesting. You know, if you say what dance did he popularize named after a food, there are more than one right answer, and if you specify a year, it's you have to stop and realize, oh, well, that rules out the other one.
I knew he sang that. I didn't know that was the name of the dance.
Well, it's something. I mean, he had those long titles, but it was like, "Hey, Mama, won't you let a man come in and do the popcorn parts 1 and 2?" Or, I mean, I almost feel like the title was just all of the lyrics written as one sentence with no punctuation or parentheses or.
I agree. What's the title for this? I don't know. Just write down the whole first verse.
Right, exactly. So, and I never actually heard any explanation how to do this popcorn, just that you had to let him do it. So, it could have even been like a meditation or maybe it wasn't a dance in the I don't know. I don't care. You brought up James Taylor, and here I'm segueing into stuff that.
Hey, James Brown comes up in our conversations a lot, so I'm surprised we didn't know that.
My main association is that interview he gave where they were asking him about the assault charges against him, and
Oh, that is the best
he just
interview
kept shouting.
ever.
Well,
He just kept naming his own songs.
the thing is, it may have been a good interview, but I mean, he really was charged with some very serious stuff. And actually, there's a local band that sampled that interview on their album, and I don't even think at the time I realized that it was the same source, but yeah, there were some interesting things going on that day.
You just got out of jail. How
Great
you feeling?
interview.
I feel good.
Yeah.
Great interview.
Well, that at least makes sense. I mean, are you guilty of this chart? Living in America does not make sense. Maybe on some very,
What
very
a
abstract
legend.
level, but
What a legend. For a reason.
What gets me is his, like, when he's playing the song. Of course, the song's like 10 minutes long. And all the in-betweens, like, give me those hits, and like, good God.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's...
I think that's why Eddie Murphy was able to make a go of it, because you shout enough and grunt enough, and there you've got your whole James Brown impersonation right there.
Fair enough.
Also Wilson Pickett possibly, but
I'm not even sure that is, to be honest.
he did he did a bunch of stuff. He popularized Land of a Thousand Dances, which had previously been done by another group.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. He had a lot of Mustang Sally. He did Mustang Sally. You probably know that.
It's a groovy song.
Did Eric Clapton or someone, didn't someone cover that?
I don't know, but I think it's interesting that the chorus is Ride, Sally, Ride, and then Sally Ride was the real name of the astronaut later, and that sort of like Sam and Dave have that song about being educated at Woodstock, and it came out before the Woodstock Festival, and that's not what they were talking about, but that's what it sounds like. Okay, I have talked a lot. I would like you guys to maybe either play something or...
We're going to help you guys time travel with this next one.
Oh, I like time travel a lot.
Yeah.
Play something a little...
Let's see how many different
bluesy.
genres we can
My
do.
listeners are interested in time travel. They tell me that every week.
They'll like this next one. It's called... What's it called, Kobe?
Groove On. It's about days like today where you work all day, and then you still got a few more hours of jamming to do before you get to go to bed.
gigs on during this.
All of them.
Well,
Who wants to play some musical chairs?
the musical chairs part.
Let's do it.
So we got Mr. Jake McNamara back there on the drums. He's gonna come up here and play the bass.
Slap of the bass.
This is like the exciting part of the show where we go from match game to Hollywood Squares.
We're gonna see how this goes.
Holy crap, you're tall, bro.
I think Valerie's nervous.
Now, is he one of those guys that
He's
makes
a man of many hats.
other tall people look short?
I think so. I feel like I'm tall, but I'm like, what's up, Ben?
He's
How-
not too
how
tall
tall
while
are
you
you?
stand next to him.
How tall is he? When he's not sitting down at the drums.
3, when I'm not sitting
So
down.
it's always interesting to me on a game show like Family Feud or Price is Right when the host is 6'6" and there's somebody that's towering over him, and it just looks like a hall of mirrors almost.
Doesn't make sense.
Terrifying.
Too tall.
The view is good at concerts, though.
It is. You get to see over a lot of people.
It seems like every time I go to a concert, I just so happen to be behind the tallest person on earth.
Well, this is why standing in the front row
Yeah,
is
exactly.
can be a good idea. Is there's not anybody tall in front of you unless they're singing at you. So
Fair enough.
This is our first show with Ben Wilson, so
really,
we want to give him a big shout out over there.
Hey.
what did you do before?
in like
we all
30s.
played in a bunch of different projects, but we were looking for somebody, and he fit the bill.
I was going to say he fits very well.
Absolutely.
I just took for granted that the three of you had been doing this with him a lot longer.
Since the 70s, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Since Woodstock, the Sam and Dave Woodstock, the Bird.
Well, I don't play drums that often, so we're gonna see how this goes.
Yeah, and I'm going to hop out of the way again. Well, you started a little late, so I'd say don't worry about it unless, if the next show is almost over, worry about it. But until Mike gets fidgety, until Mike gets worried, don't worry.
Well, I think
So
this is
you're
our
saying
last
we get to
song,
put-
so this is a good
Yeah,
lineup
you guys might
here.
recognize this one. I played
So-
this one last time I was here on the uke. It's gonna sound a little different this time, though.
We might be able to bust out an improv
My
jam after.
boys.
Is that what we're saying?
That's what it sounded like. Mama said I got a good heart, but I don't know where the right road starts. Mama taught me right from wrong, but I keep living this way. I won't live long, baby. I'm on my way, making bad decisions. I'm on my way, making bad decisions. Should've left enough alone to know what I done wrong, making bad decisions. Oh, I should have quit while I was ahead. Lucky Funks. Thank you, WEFT, for having us. Making bad. Thank you, thank you. Woo!
You are still doing an encore, right?
Oh, man. I want us to.
Remember we were talking about we were going to talk before the last
I
song?
just saw the clock up there, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, but you started late. So this is where we plug you and plug your website and plug your upcoming shows and plug your whatever you want to plug or summarize or repeat. Do you have a
Yeah, we
web presence you want
we're
to
on
share?
Facebook. That's currently the only place you can get a hold of me
Oh,
unless
my.
you got one of our really cool business cards.
So no email, no Instagram, no.
TheLuckyFunks@gmail.com.
Yeah.
No space, no caps, nothing
We want one of
fancy.
these really cool T-shirts.
Mhm.
We know a really cool guy who made them.
And is he in the band?
He might be.
Ah. Where do I get one of those hats?
I actually got this at a shoe shop in Charleston.
Ah. So Charleston.
Yep. I don't remember what it's called. Mackmore? Shout out, if I'm correct.
Is there a name for that kind of hat?
I think it's like. What do they call it? I don't know. I've sort of intentionally gotten like a hat collection going.
See, every time I think I'm going to start wearing hats, I remember that the wind here blows them all down the street.
Yeah, that's a real issue.
I spend all my time chasing my hats because I don't want to lose them, but they're really hard to keep on my head.
Yeah, that's a real issue for sure. This one actually fits pretty well, but I've got a couple that the wind's blowing. I'm like packing my gear up with one hand on my head.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I could staple it to my hair or something.
There you go.
Yeah. Be careful, though. It might hurt. If I stapled a finger once, and that did not feel good.
Yeah, probably not.
But I had a classmate who was talking about it. She thought it did feel good, and I don't know that I ever had a conversation with her again after that.
It felt good to stay. Yeah, that's.
She said it hurts, but then it feels good. And I'm like, no, it hurts, and then it hurts some more. But
There's some more. Yeah.
told me some things about her anyway.
I gotta take care of my fingers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody I know who has fingers and doesn't have a reason to take care of them. But
Yeah, that's a fair point. I shouldn't feel so special.
well, did you have upcoming shows you wanted to plug, or festivals, or
We after this
Focusing on recording.
focus on
after this.
recording.
you taking any trips to Montana again, or?
I'm planning on being in Colorado
Mm.
in September.
For fun?
I have some friends in Colorado that I'm gonna hang out with, and I'm also gonna check out the Denver music scene.
All right.
Hit up some open mics and all that.
Well, that sounds good.
That's a lot of business.
Well, it got very quiet, so if
Pick
you...
a letter A through G.
We don't really have an encore prepared, so we'll just pick a note and jam on it.
Pick a letter A through G.
All right, well, whatever this encore is, I will be standing by with more music to play whenever you're done. So
Pick
thank you,
G.
and I should mention your name one more time. You have been listening to the Lucky Funks here on WEF Sessions on WEFT 91... Bleh, let me try that one more time. I got everything right but what I say every week, which is WEFT 90.1 FM Champaign, and Local 901 is coming up after this song.
It's a mouthful. Pick a key for us.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
What's you like?
E. That's a good one for it.
That's like the best rock and roll video. Let's go minor.
Jam out.